Now we are having a bit of a spicy episode this week because look what I've got here, leftover Scotch bonnet from the garden. Now these are super hot chili, and you may think in France we don't have real chilies, but guess what? If you travel to the West Indies on the island of Guadeloupe or Martinique and the other islands, there is a dipping sauce, ultra famous, called the sauce chien, aka the dog sauce. More on why is it called like this later on. It is a sauce made with spring onion, with lime, and plenty of chilies with some other ingredients. So if you're a bit of a chili lover / addict like me, you're gonna love it. Let's go. For this recipe, this is the extra things you're gonna need. You're gonna need some garlic, and we're gonna have some oil. We're gonna press the juice of the lemon and zest them. We're gonna have some water, some salt and pepper. And for the rest, we've got the mise en place where everything is thinly chopped. So we're gonna have here the spring onion, some parsley, and we're gonna also thinly chop some chilies. And if you wonder why that sauce has got the name sauce chien, the dog sauce, is because as far back as 100 years ago, there was a manufacturer that introduced a utility knife, very simple, very humble, very easy to use, that was great quality, great to handle, very easy to sharpen, and became so famous that every home in the West Indies had that knife, because it was the knife you would use to chop everything. Hence the name the sauce chien, because this sauce is made just using that little knife where you can chop everything together. The most interesting thing is that the brand, chien, which means dog, is actually owned by the famous knife maker Sabatier, still today that makes some of the best knife in France. So I'm not surprised why the knife went so famous. So sometimes you see even a knife can bring a lot of things to people. But anyway, back to the sauce. Chili is very important. Scotch bonnet is the original if you want lots of fragrance, a lot of spice. If you're not into spice, you can take these long red and green chilies that are less hot, and you can still make this sauce. But it kind of defies the purpose because you want something that is nice and spicy. It is an assembly sauce. There's not many things to do, so let me show you how it goes. Now, the making of this sauce is quite interesting, and the first thing we're going to do here is to have all of the garlic added into the oil. So you're going to chop the garlic, and you're going to mix this into your oil and leave this to infuse. Once your garlic is in the oil, we can start the assembly, and that is very simple. We're going to just put all of the herbs. A little note here, apparently this sauce is very similar to something called chimichurri sauce in South America. So lots of herbs in here, and then we're gonna have the chilies. So the chilies, again, is up to you. These are habanero, but they're not very hot because they're the one from my garden. You might think, he's insane! He putting so much stuff, but you see a good dose of chili in there. Then we're gonna take some some lime, because we are, after all, in the Caribbean on here. And up to you, you can grate the zest of 1 or 2 lemon, but I kind of take it easy, just do a bit of a grating. Once you're done with the zesting of the lime, we're gonna do something quite peculiar. We're gonna go on the stove and start to warm up some water with the juice of the lime. Yes, as surprising as it sounds, you're gonna take a pan, we're gonna take all of the water that we're gonna pour in here with the juice of the lime. Now, if you have good limes, 2 limes is enough. If they're not very juicy, 3. And then a good grind of salt. And we're gonna bring this to a simmer. My mixture here is simmering. I'm turning the heat off. And now we're gonna go back to our bowl with the ingredients. The real secret of that sauce is actually the use of a warm water. And this is what we're gonna do here. We're gonna pour all that water in here, and that is gonna help to part cook everything in here. So you're gonna mix everything together, and then let it sit first for just a few minutes before we add the oil and the rest. Okay, it's been rested. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try my sauce and check for salt and pepper, just to adjust the seasoning slightly and mix everything well. And now for the final touches. So we've got our mix in the hot water. It's part cooking everything. We've got the salt and everything. Now it is a watery sauce. It's using water as a medium, and we're gonna now add oil, emulsify like a dressing. But for me, sometimes it's hard to judge how much water you want. So what I do as the last step, I use a bowl And I'm gonna first judge for myself how much of that mixture do I want, okay? Then add some of the water and emulsify it with the oil. So just find the right mixture, the right amount. So I'm telling you like 3 tablespoons on here, okay? And with that, I'm gonna add all of my garlic and my oil and mix everything. So what I mean here is to find the perfect balance of oiliness and wateriness, because it's not always easy to get right. So once you've adjusted the amount of water, the herbs that you want, to transfer anything into a bowl, something a bit more presentable, and you're gonna leave this to macerate at room temperature for 1 or 2 hours before you can enjoy this on anything grilled. Grilled fish, grilled meat, grilled chicken, even a grilled lobster. And when it's freshly grilled, and you're gonna pour that sauce that is very light, in fact, because it's using water instead of just oil. Too many of these sauces are very heavy because always like oil. That's got a little bit of oil and an emulsion of water with fresh chilies. The chilies you're gonna be using are gonna be really giving that kind of particularity to your sauce. So the Scotch bonnet, if you use another type, is going to be more or less hot, and it's up to you to decide. If you want to go further with this, you can also add little cubes of tomato to make a tomato version, but I will leave this up to you. But that completes the video for this week. A little travel on the side of the West Indies, and who knows, on the channel I may introduce some more Creole food on the French side, who knows. But we'll leave for another time. I hope you enjoyed the recipe, and I will see you all next week for another French cooking video. Take care all.